Let's take a look at the key highlights from the US presidential debate. Beginning with the resilience of the US economy amid COVID-19, President Trump underscored his administration's response, claiming that they had the greatest economy in the history of US. Let's take a look at his remarks on how the pandemic shaped economic policies and outcomes.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good.
As the presidential debate heated up, Joe Biden leveled striking allegations against President Trump, accusing him of disparaging fallen soldiers as losers and suckers.
I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his four-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Now, another highlight from the debate was former President Trump talking about NATO contributions. Let's look at what he had to say about that and his views on Israel-Hamas.
You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
In fact, in a surprising declaration during the debate, former President Trump made a bold promise to resolve the Ukraine conflict before he takes office. His remarks sparked both intrigue and skepticism. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
It should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
Things got heated in the debate as President Biden took a direct jab at Trump, labeling him a convicted felon and disputing his statements about the events on Capitol Hill.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who are convicted, deserves to be convicted.
As sparks flew in the debate, President Biden launched a scathing attack on former President Trump, questioning his moral compass and recounting past scandals. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
The crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
So these were the highlights from the big debate. Stay tuned to India Today Global for extensive coverage on global affairs.